Hey, what is going on guys? Danny here, hope you're all doing well. In this video, I wanted to share my thoughts on the new 3000 XT processors from AMD, which they just announced recently. This announcement didn't come as a surprise to anyone. I mean, we saw quite a lot of leaks and rumors surrounding AMD's refresh for the past month. It definitely was confusing as to why AMD might have considered releasing these CPUs when Zen 3 based desktop CPUs are probably coming out later this year. Although now we're hearing rumors that those CPUs might be delayed until 2021 CES, so AMD needed something else to push out this year, which I really hope isn't true. But anyways, taking a look at the announcement, it was just a 2-minute video posted on their channel where Robert Halleck talked about the specs, the pricing, and mentioned the differences from the original processors. What they announced were 3 CPUs, the 3900 XT, the 3800 XT, and the 3600 XT. In regards to core and thread count, cache sizes, TDPs, base clocks, everything remains the same when compared to the original 3000 CPUs. The only thing that has changed are the boost clocks for these CPUs. The 3600 XT has a 4.5 GHz boost clock, which is 100 MHz than the 3600X. The 3800 XT has a boost clock of 4.7 GHz, which is 200 MHz higher than the 3800X. And finally, the 3900 XT has a boost clock of 4.7 GHz as well, which is only a 100 MHz higher than the 3900X. That's it. Nothing else has changed besides a 100 to 200 MHz bump to the boost clock. In terms of pricing, these new XT CPUs will come in at the original MSRPs of the original 3000 series CPUs, which were released a year ago. $249 for the 3600 XT, $399 for the 3800 XT, and $499 for the 3900 XT. Looking at this launch, and honestly, I'm just baffled as to why they would even bother with these CPUs. Robert Halleck did mention multiple times that these CPUs were possible due to a more mature process, and that's probably true. Yield and quality of the silicon probably have gotten a lot better compared to a year ago, where they can now sell these better quality dies with better boost clock capability. However, looking at this from a technological standpoint and value standpoint, these CPUs will not be noticeably faster at all when compared to the original 3000 CPUs, and it actually doesn't even make sense to buy them because CPUs like the 3600 or the 3700X or even the 3900X go for way cheaper than these CPUs. We're talking about over $100 differences in some cases when those CPUs already deliver like 95% of the performance that these CPUs will. What also makes these CPUs look like terrible value is the fact that you don't even get a cooler, a stock cooler with them in the box. Now, I'm usually an advocate for aftermarket coolers, especially if you have a case with poor airflow, but at least you got some kind of decent stock cooler options there, right? You could use it for the time being and then save some money, give yourself the headroom to save that money down the road and then upgrade that cooler. You still had something to work with there. With these guys, you're paying a lot more than what a 3900X or 3600 would cost you, and you don't even get a cooler in the box. So why did AMD decide to keep the MSRPs the same when you're not even getting the full value here? It just doesn't make sense to me, and if you ask me, this was a pretty bad move on their end. I'm all for new hardware, but if you don't price it appropriately, you're not going to get my approval for it, and you're going to get called out. It's not 2019 anymore, AMD, it's 2020. We're at the 1-year mark since the 3000 series launched. And in my opinion, AMD should have launched these parts at $50 less than what the original 3000 CPUs launched at. Because if you're going to be releasing them a year later with very minor improvements, you're not making an attractive product at all with really no incentive here. If it was $50 less, then I would say, hey, go get that 3900 XT for a little bit more money or 3800 XT. You'll get a little bit better performance there, but at original MSRP, I just can't recommend them. Because when you think about it, buying a 3800 XT at this price makes no sense whatsoever, because for $10 to $20 more, you can get yourself a Ryzen 9 3900X, which gives you 4 more cores. The boost clocks are just slightly lower, 100 MHz, which makes no difference whatsoever. And you won't even notice it. It's the same with the 3600 XT as well. That's in the 3700X territory. You get more cores there, more thread counts. It just doesn't make sense, so they're just going to be cannibalized by their own product. And AMD does have very good margin on these CPUs now, especially since you don't even get a cooler in the box anymore. There's no better value here at all. You know, if they had increased the base clocks by like 300 MHz, like some of the rumors were suggesting, it would have made a bit more sense then. It wouldn't have been a huge difference, but, you know, still a decent improvement. But charging this much for a mere 100 MHz overclock? Fuck that. Essentially what AMD have done here is just taken the silicon lottery approach and are charging a premium for these kinds of bin dies, which might appeal to an extreme overclocker, but For the average user, no. Just get the original 3000 processor and call it a day. You're much better off saving money and putting it towards a faster GPU, more RAM, or faster RAM, or more storage space. Like for example, the 3600 Non-X is an amazing bang for the buck CPU. That thing sometimes goes for like what, $150 US? So just get that, it'll deliver like 90-95% of the performance that a 3600 XT will, and then use that money that you save towards, better coolers, or throw in a better GPU, more RAM, faster RAM. There's so many more options there because it's so much more cheaper. It's like $100 cheaper at this point, right? So that's a lot of money saved. This is a pointless launch, and if AMD do end up releasing the 4000 series later this year, then it'll be even worse. Just don't buy these parts. That's all I can really say about this launch. Ignore them and just skip it. If you guys found this video to be informative and entertaining, then hit that like button. Let me know your thoughts down below. Check out the video description for ways to support the channel, and if you're interested in more content like this, then make sure you're subscribed. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one.